1-2 down, and we're going into the second women's singles between Busanan Ongbamrungphan and Rachel Sugden. Thailand up 2-0 after some straightforward wins in the first two matches. So, Busanan Ongbamrungphan and Rachel Sugden going locking horns. You see there the experience of Ongbamrungphan with over 400 matches under her belt. The players are about to walk on court. Ongbamrungphan, a crucial member of the Thailand team. She was a huge part of that Uber Cup team that got to the finals of the 2018 edition. And she will be a big member in this one as well, there's no doubt. And she takes on Rachel Sugden of Scotland, a young upcoming player who will be making her Uber Cup debut as well at 19 years of age. So it's a very, very exciting moment for her. Team Scotland egging her on.
Kirsty Gilmore tooting the horn.
Grania Somerville, of course, joins me in the commentary seat. And, you know, for a 19-year-old, this is a big occasion.
Yeah, definitely an exciting thing to be a part of. Getting all these great matches against these world-class opponents is really something. And here we can see that it is their first meeting.
Yep, Busanan Ongbamrungphan and Rachel Sugden have not played on the international tour before.
Okay.
They may have sparred in the warm-up courts, maybe.
I doubt it. With all the sparring options that Thailand has, I think.
Black service.
But Rachel, I'm sure, has sparred, you know, with Kirsty, so she does have that awesome compatriot to push her in her game and to learn from as well.
Well, both these women will be hoping to make a match of it as Busanan looks to put Thailand 3-0 up. And of course, Rachel Sugden looking to pull one back for Scotland. So there's a lot to play for these two women, and they will be eager to show their way on the courts. We've just witnessed the toss of the coin as the umpires have taken their seats. Busanan Ongbamrungphan, she's 25 years old, 168 centimeters tall, born in Bangkok, Thailand, the capital city. And she's ranked 13th in the world at the moment, but she has reached up to number 11. She's always been a solid, you know, player for Thailand, and she's been among the top, the best of the best at all times. Rachel Sugden, on the other hand, as I mentioned, 19 years of age, just a teenager, 176 centimeters tall. She's a tall girl, ranked 255th in the world, born in Alexandria, Scotland. Her highest ranking was 248, so there is a big gap among the ranks in these two players. But as with most team events, it evens things out. Umpire is Ivo Castle from Switzerland, and the service judge is Jojan John from Brunei.
So being quite young, I think that, you know, with the pandemic and everything, that Rachel would have missed out on that opportunity to get that match experience and have all those tournaments that she would have typically had in other years to kind of progress through the rankings and get up there. But hopefully with things getting back to normal, she'll have that opportunity in the near future.
Ongbamrungphan, as I mentioned, has been a critical member of the Thai setup for a few years now. In 2018, she was really important to their amazing run in Bangkok. Despite, you know, they of course had home support, but the girls played really well in that tournament, and Busanan was a big part of that in the quarterfinal when they beat Indonesia 3-2. It was Busanan who clinched the victory in that final match over Ruseli Hartawan in straights. And that just, you know, that kind of win and that kind of pressure situation just, you know, elevates you, your game, your feeling so much. So she'll be looking to bring a lot of that here, lessons from that tournament into this one, making sure that Thailand, if not improve, match that kind of level and performance, which will be important.
And Busanan was the second qualifier in the women's singles for the Olympics, so she edged just ahead of Ponpawi who we saw earlier in the first women's singles.
Yep, she's playing the second women's singles here. But I think it's, in terms of where they are in the Thai team, it is not much difference now between Putbari and Busanan. It's just good to see that kind of strength and depth, I think, for Thailand. Even their third women's single, Chaiwan, Pityaporn Chaiwan, is a very strong player. So they'll be really happy with that strength and depth. And here we go, it's the first game. Busanan Ongbamrungphan to serve. Just effortless with that backhand. Just out. But it was that first backhand that went across the court that just looked so effortless.
She just showed she has all the versatility in that backhand stroke, playing straight pull shot, cross pull shot, and then the backhand clear. So being able to have that repertoire really means that your opponent has to keep guessing, even when they hit a good shot, putting you under pressure in the backhand corner. But of course, credit to Rachel to getting her to play 3 backhand pull shots in the first point. And then the beautiful hold there by Busanan, just holding it that extra second, making Rachel think that she was going to play net shot, and then just adding that little bit of power, pushing it cross court.
She too has a high forehand serve, Busanan. I think a lot of the Thai players prefer the high forehand serve, especially in the women's singles.
It does seem that way, yeah. A bit of the Thai style is to kind of start with that high serve and start a bit more in a defensive position. Well left. Also well left.
Yeah, it's all about gauging the feel in the stadium.
I don't think we've noticed too much difference in the drift going lengthways yet either. Again, Busanan with the deception. And then Chaiwan just replicating it, sitting back behind the court.
Well, apparently there's not much drift in the courts today. So it's almost like a perfect environment for these players to be able to control the shuttle.
When there is the drift on court, it really kind of separates the experience from the non-experienced. Great rally there from Rachel, setting up with that quick push and then the beautiful backhand kill.
She's doing well to move Busanan around, Rachel.
Really using her reach to take the shuttle early in the front court there, and then that height giving her the option of a lot of angles from the rear court.
Again, lovely drop shot from Busanan Ongbamrungphan there. Great skill in that shot. She does have a really good game, full of, a mix of skills. When she's playing in her element, it all sort of is in full display.
And this is what Rachel, being so young, wouldn't have experienced that much of. She hasn't been exposed to all these different variety of players, and, coming from Scotland, probably played against less Asian players who, predominantly have a little bit more of this technical touch and this deception that Busanan is, teaching her right now.
I remember you mentioned that, when you went to see the Chinese players train, and they were you were amazed by how hard they were, with their hitting in the wrist movement, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the European versus the Asian style of training is very different, and I think they're both awesome, but it's really that sparring level and the depth within the Asian clubs and, national teams that is very different to some of the European countries, and just the different skills and, the different technique from both countries is both areas of the world is really different.
And that was a lovely drop shot from Rachel there. No way Busanan would have made that. So it's a 1-point game. She's doing really well early on in this match. Keeping toe to toe. And that's out.
And being an experienced player, Busanan, it's those kind of errors that she knows will come throughout the match from Rachel, giving her a little bit of, that buffer for her to kind of play freely because she knows she has that added level of stability in her own game.
Well, after the Olympics, Busanan played in the Sudirman Cup as well, and she played against Chen Yufei, so that was a really nice wake-up call, if you can call it that, in the Sudirman Cup. She lost that match, but it's if you're going to play after a month or 2 months break, you want to play at the best level just so that you can push your levels up and get a gauge of where you're at and what you need to work on and get ready for the next tournaments. I mean, that's just one match. You win one, you lose one, it happens in sport, but like for Rachel here, it'll be the same thing. You want to be up against the best so you can gauge where you're at and then improve on those for the next matches.
Yeah, as the saying goes, you win or learn.
And right now it is Busanan who's winning a little bit. She's in the lead, 10-6. It's a 4-point lead. She's a point away from getting a big lead in the mid-interval break.
Oh, nice deception there.
Just lovely play from Busanan Ongbamrungphan. She just lovely little drop shot. Didn't see it coming, Rachel Sugden. And it's 11-6 and the mid-game break in this first game. Busanan Ongbamrungphan in the lead by 5 points.
She's looking quite relaxed there at the interval. Sometimes, when stronger or the favourite is playing a younger, more experienced opponent, it can be a bit easy to relax and let it get away from you. And it can be even hard as the coach coaching the game when the player, has it very under control. So just going in, the coach will just be kind of reinforcing what's working and to just kind of stay focused and, not take the foot off the gas too much.
Thailand, of course, in Group B with Scotland, Spain and India, so they would be the favourites, one of the favourites to progress in their group. 11-6 now at the start of the second half of the first game.
Nice body smash. Rachel did well to get it back there. Oh, again. That same stop drop shot.
She does it so well, and it just catches her opponents off guard completely.
She has good deception in it, so she takes it back as if she's going to do a smash, has the speed in her arm, and then is able to really just take the pace out with her hands and fingers at the last second, playing a nice tight drop shot there.
That was really well done by Busanan again. She seems to be controlling the shuttle really well. Just knows where she wants to place the shuttle on the court.
Yeah, very early to that one. She had all the options in the world.
Just going for the cross court shot there. Rachel unfortunately found the net. And so it's an 8-point lead now for Busanan Ongbamrungphan in this first game.
Rachel's starting to look a little bit frustrated at herself. She's given away 2 quick points then. I think here she just needs to try and think about staying in the rally and making it go as long as possible so that she can really get the full experience from this match and kind of learn from Busanan, and that comes from having longer rallies.
She's going to try and take that self-doubt away, I think, as well. She must be now starting to doubt her game a little bit because it's a 10-point lead now for Busanan. So it's kind of a mountain to climb for Rachel.
Definitely, and it is tempting to try and go for quick winners and get one back as soon as possible, but against this high-quality opponent, rallies is the best way to go, and that's the way that she's going to learn a lot from this match as well, being able to play more rallies and see what works, see what doesn't, and see what comes back from Busanan especially. So trying to reduce those quick errors within the first few shots will really benefit Rachel now. That was well played.
That was
really
a
well
nice
played.
shot.
8-16.
Great net shot.
Yeah. And there was that punch clear here that set it up for her to take it nice and early at the net.
And she's clawed 2 points back, just like that. I've always wondered, as players on court, when, in a badminton arena, it's common, especially in the early stages of this tournament, to have 1, 2, 3 courts in play. How does a player who's playing on court keep themselves focused around all the noise? Because you have different people cheering for different teams, there's, player walk-ins, music. How do you keep yourself focused?
Yeah, it can be very distracting, definitely. But I think, you just got to try and keep, those blinders on, as they say, to just think about your own match, have that self-talk within your head to reinforce that. And it kind of does help a little bit, I find, that with having a smaller crowd or no crowds in some situations, especially like the Indonesia Open when it's a fully packed stadium, they're singing, they're dancing. It's very hectic to try and maintain your focus when it's hard to even hear yourself think, hear the shuttle, and even communicate with your partner, especially like I could hardly hear what my partner and the coaches were saying to me, so it was actually really frustrating when I played in Indonesia.
Unfortunately, that's out as well. So Busanan Ongbamrungphan now 19-8 up, an 11-point lead. She's just 2 points away from sealing the game. This has been a confident performance from Busanan. She just seems like it's effortless work at the moment from the Thai women's singles player. Again, she tried for the same shot again. Another error, and it's game point for Busanan Ongbamrungphan. 28. So she's got 12 game points here, Busanan. And that is out. And so Busanan Ongbamrungphan seals the game 21-8. She was calm, cool, and collected throughout this first game. And she seems to be on track for putting Thailand up 3-0 in this tie. But Rachel Sugden will be happy with the start, especially she had in that first game.
Yeah, I think she's done well showing that she can play at this level. She's had a few good rallies that have been well set up. It's just that consistency that she's lacking at this point. And I think for her, you'd be trying to get her to not have those easy errors within the first few points. Maybe try and have her aiming like a little bit within the line so that she can find her gauge and keep the rally going. And then as she gains confidence, then try and go for those lines a little bit more once she has that accuracy back. But really just trying to not give away points too quickly.
Well, that game lasted just 12 minutes for Busanan Ongbamrungphan. And now it's a 2-minute break. And just the game point there, where she lifted a bit too high and went out. So Busanan Ongbamrungphan happy with her performance so far. She's just going to have to keep her focus and maintain this level for the second game as she changes sides. It's always amazing how players, I find it very interesting how badminton players can play through all the noise, as we were talking about. It's just you don't see it in other sports as much because they all have their individual arenas. In tennis, you have your own court and
Yeah.
there's separate courts. But in badminton, it just feels amazing how players can, push through all that noise and, all the, even just the lights and stuff like that. It's a lot to
Yeah.
that can distract you.
It is.
Play.
Oh, well played.
Service over.
Rachel Sugden did well there. It started with that net shot about 3 shots into the point.
One
She had a really
love.
nice cross shot across the net. And that set up her point there really well.
Oof. Beautiful.
Service over.
Just a little snap there, finding the line.
1-all.
A little reminiscent of Pon Paui's
Yeah,
signature
move.
signature cross snap. Probably again
Maybe
one of
it's
the,
going to become a tie thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a top world ranking of 15 thing as well. They can all just find the lines when they feel like it.
Service over.
Rachel showing she can match her.
Yep, she found the line nicely there.
2-1.
The great thing about Busanan's game, I think, is that she doesn't need to move much to get the shots she wants to play. You see her maybe take 2 steps backwards, 2 steps sidewards. There's not a lot of movement in her game, but she gets to those shots really well.
Yeah, I think she's great at anticipating and also has a really solid base. So seems hard to get her out of position. She's very quick and is onto the shuttle very quickly. She makes it look effortless. Lovely
wow.
reverse there.
3-2.
Busanan Ongbamrungphan, of course, has won the Southeast Asian Games in 2015. She was a gold medalist in 2015, a silver medalist in 2013. She's got a couple of titles under her belt, World Tour titles. So she's got she's had a really good showing on the international circuit so far. And she's just 25 and done really well for herself. She's won the Indonesian Open Masters. She's won the Indonesian Masters in 2016, the Thailand Masters in 2017.
That was an impeccable shot by Rachel. Really world class. Following up with that tight cross net.
Again, lovely shot.
4-all. Yes.
It's great to see this Scottish team with their young talent showing that they can match some of these world-class players. Their consistency isn't there yet in some of the longer games, but they're so young. They have a lot to develop and really promising. A lot to look forward to in the Scottish team.
Service over.
That was a great smash from Busanan,
5-4.
right at the corner. It's kind of how it happened in the first game, where she sort of kept pace with Busanan, matched her shots, played some really good badminton at the start, and then it kind of faded off in the second half of the game. And that's what she's got to try and keep up all the way through here in the second game for Rachel Sugden.
Service over.
Exactly. Just trying to keep that consistency and staying stable throughout. Not so much of that up and down kind of roller coaster of a game where you have those great points, but then it's followed up by a few quick errors.
Well, the women's doubles are back in their seats. Kira Torrance and Julie McPherson cheering them on. using that horn.
Love the little accessories, the hats.
They're fun. It was very clear when they got onto the court before it all started that they were out there to have some fun.
Yeah.
Oh, beautifully played again by Busanan Ongbamrungphan.
7-5.
Unfortunately, that found the net and fell on her side of the court. Rachel was going for the drop shot there. But just, she's been quite good on the challenger circuit, having won the Iceland International last year. And this year she played at the Hellas International and reached the quarterfinals. So she's a consistent player on the challenger circuit. It's just now she's, facing the more senior level players, and it's a great learning curve for her to then move on from the challenger circuit to the World Tour circuit.
Yeah, and there are a lot of European tournaments coming up later in this year. In October and November, there's the Belgian International Challenge, Irish International Challenge, Scottish, Welsh, Italian. So there's quite a few opportunities coming up for a lot of these players to get that good match experience and really challenge some of the international competitors.
Service over. 9-7.
9-7 now.
Unfortunately, we've seen a few of those quick errors, just off the serve or within the first few points that we saw in the first set with Rachel. So hopefully she can reel it back and try and keep the rallies going. Oh. Rachel thought she had it with her own net roll. Busanan just able to get it back. And that's what somebody of that caliber can do.
Great point. Great point. Just a jump smash from across the court. 11-7. Busanan Ongbamrungphan cruising a little bit here. Having a 4-point lead at the mid-range break. Putting Thailand well in charge of their tie against Scotland. As they look to go for a clean sweep run in this tie. So 11-7 is what it is at the mid-game break in the second game. Ongbamrungphan having already won the first game 21-8.
Yeah, those situations where you shoot punches on them. I think what makes you work really well like with flat smashes, because then in the final after you have the net, yeah. Just keep going for it.
I just heard the Scotland coach tell Rachel just keep going for it, which was, I'm sure, trying to boost her confidence. You must be happy with what she's done so far. And that's just out.
Service over. 8-11.
That was a great backhand from Busanan Ongbamrungphan.
Yeah, so much power in that backhand clear. I'm jealous of anyone that can play backhand clear like that.
That takes a lot of practice.
It does. And in women's singles, it's such an advantage being able to get yourself out of that situation and have that option of a backhand clear.
Oh, really well played there. Rachel Sugden doing well to keep Busanan on her toes, and then with that drop shot at the end, it was hard for Busanan to reach for it. So it's now 12-9.
Rachel doing well here, forcing some errors from Busanan. Nice, right in the corner. Rachel ended up leaving it, but if she had hit that, she didn't have many options with the depth of that shot.
And that's out, well out. So it's a 4-point lead now, 14-10. The next couple of points will be important for Rachel Sugden to try and fight her way back before the game gets away from her. Oh, beautiful.
How did she get that back? And then the backhand clear, putting her back in the rally, and Rachel just going a bit too much for it again.
Just getting to that net shot was brilliant work from Busanan Ongbamrungphan. That's world class.
Rachel's starting to look a little bit deflated. Be nice to see her kind of pump herself up a little bit, show that she's still in it.
And that was a fantastic smash on the net from Busanan Ongbamrungphan. Just going for the kill right there.
Bringing the power.
Which is not, you don't see that very often in the Asian game. But, you know, they're sure of themselves when they go for the kill shot. That's out as well. So now it's a 7-point lead. There you go, just out. Unfortunately for Rachel Sugden. 7-point lead for Thailand. Again out. Busanan doing very well to move her opponent around, using the backhand, using the forehand. Just putting the pressure on her opponent to try and come back into the point. 18-10 now. That was out.
11-18.
I wonder if she would have challenged that. This late in the game would have been worth a challenge.
Could have, but with the lead she has, she also doesn't really need to challenge it.
Doesn't need the stress. And that's 19-11 now for Busanan Ongbamrungphan. Lovely net roll there. Just a lovely way to get onto match point. She has played some of the best badminton we've seen today. Busanan Ongbamrungphan, so confident.
Mixing it up with the short serve there, catching Rachel off guard a little bit.
Oh, just amazing placement again. Busanan Ongbamrungphan making it look easy. 21-8, 21-11. Thailand now 3-0 up. That match seals the tie for Thailand. They'll of course play the remaining two matches for the points, but that one will keep them well ahead and in good fields, I would say, feeling good about themselves. Looking for the clean sweep now would be the plan for Thailand. But a good show also from Rachel Sugden in what is her first Uber Cup match. Remember, she's just 19 years old, so you know, this is quite a task to take on, and she's done well for herself. She's got some good points in there. The players walk off. Busanan Ongbamrungphan, a very cheerful, smiley player, always in good spirits, and you know, she will definitely be today after that kind of performance. So 21-8, 21-11 in 28 minutes. It was Busanan Ongbamrungphan who seals the win for Thailand. And that's the match point there. Busanan just aggressive smash there, and then wow, over the head of the player. Lovely play. So Busanan Ongbamrungphan showing the variety of skills that she has just in that point itself, actually, and showing that she is one to definitely watch out for in this tournament.
You can see there on court 1 that the other 2 players in the countries in the pool are battling it out. India versus Spain.
So coming up, it's the women's doubles second rubber between Thailand and Scotland. Stay with us. Hello from Aarhus, Denmark. This is the second largest city in the country, and we are at the Aarhus Sports Park, coming to you live from the Ceres Arena, which is the indoor facility here in Aarhus. It hosts multiple events, badminton of course right now, but it also hosts